The aim of the program really was to build on something that came to be called the strengthened approach. The strengthened approach is about country-led reform programs. Rather than public financial management systems being reformed because donors have a particular view about how they should be reformed, the idea is that country ownership is much more important. And it's also about having a harmonized approach amongst the development partners, rather than one development partner in a country saying you ought to focus on improving internal audit, for example. At the same time, another donor is saying you ought to focus on improving procurement. So it's trying to harmonize the way donors engage with the authorities in a country. And that engagement is to take place around a common pool of information. And that is what comes out of the PEFA methodology, the PEFA framework, which uses 28 indicators to look at the way in which the public financial management system in a country is operating. And it's designed to identify areas of strength and areas of weakness in the public financial management system, which really tell the government of the country whether or not they have the tools that will allow them to achieve the three main budgetary outcomes. And they are aggregate fiscal discipline, the extent to which the allocation of resources is done strategically and rationally, and finally the third outcome is about the efficient delivery of services to communities. What we would like to see, and it's not something that the Secretariat can do, we'd like to see research institutions taking on board the data that we have and doing more systematic and rigorous analytical work about case studies from particular countries, how they've gone from undertaking a PEFA assessment, how they've used that in dialogue with development partners, how they've identified the priorities about the things that they most need to fix in their PFM system to make sure that they're delivering better services to their communities. But as I say, the Secretariat is very small. We exercise a quality control function over the methodology that's used, but the analytical work that could be done around that and linking it to improvements in the delivery of services, I think that's something we'd really like to encourage others to engage in. So there are particular studies that have been done, but I think the more data that we collect, and as I've said, there's almost 300 PEFA assessments that have now been completed, there's a massive data that could be linked to other data sets, for example, in the field of education or in the field of health. So does an improvement in the public financial management system impact on the way the services are delivered to communities in terms of education or health? So that's the sort of thing that research institutions may find of interest, and we'd very much like to encourage people to pick that kind of thing up.